Pablo Picasso, Breaking All the Rules, written and illustrated by True Kelly. Now this story is sort of in the style of a book report written by a student, which I think makes it kind of neat to read. The truth about this report. To tell the truth, I wasn't crazy about the idea of doing Picasso for my report. My favorite painter is Monet, but my twin brother Sean already took him. My parents have Picasso posters and prints and books all over our house, so he was the easiest artist for me to write about. Sorry, Mrs. Brandt, but when I started to do this report, I didn't like his art that much. But now I do. Pablo Picasso was born in southern Spain on October 25, 1881. He could draw before he could talk. His first words were peas, peas, which meant pencil, pencil in Spanish. His full name was Pablo Diego Jose Francisco de Paula Juan Nepomuceno Maria de los Remedios Cipriano de la Santísima Trinidad Ruiz Picasso. But I'm glad he shortened his name to Pablo Picasso, or signing a painting would have been a major problem. There would have been no room for the painting. It would have all been his signature. The boy genius. Pablo's father was a painter and an art teacher. He wanted Pablo to be an artist too. By the time Pablo was 14, everybody already thought he was an artistic genius. When his dad saw how well Pablo could paint, he gave him all his own paints and brushes, and he never painted again. Pablo sketched for a painting he did when he was 16, won a prize, and he beat out the artists in all of Spain, even grown-ups. Picasso left home to go to art school in Madrid, but he skipped class a lot because he was getting tired of being told how to paint. He just wanted to do it his own way. When they were first starting out, Pablo roomed with his friend Carlos Casimegas. They were so poor that Picasso painted furniture and bookcases on the walls so their apartment didn't look so bare. Pablo, can you paint the sofa red instead? The Blue Period. Paris, France was the cool place to be for artists, so Pablo and Carlos Casimegas soon moved there. Picasso liked Paris, but his friend Carlos was very unhappy. He had girl trouble, and in 1901 he died. Picasso was very sad, and it showed in his paintings. His painting looks very sad, doesn't it? How skinny that guy is. He looks like he's crying. His clothes are all ripped. Picasso painted beggars and prisoners. The blue paint he used made the paintings even sadder. Pablo's blue paintings didn't sell very well because who would want such depressing pictures on their walls? Even Pablo's dad thought he was wasting his talent. Here's my own sad painting in blue. It's about when our cat died. So, in 1904, Pablo Picasso fell in love. Pablo and his girlfriend were happy, even though they were poor. Picasso started using new colors, and his paintings looked a lot happier. Some people call this Picasso's rose period, but I don't know why. Most of the paintings weren't just pink. Pablo's apartment was a big mess, sort of like my room, I guess. Pablo often worked all night by oil lamp. In the winter, it got so cold that by morning, cups of leftover tea had frozen. It's morning, Pablo. Have some iced tea. An American woman named Gertrude Stein was living in Paris with her brother Leo. Gertrude was a poet and was one of the first people who liked Pablo's paintings. Lots of artists and poets were already hanging out at Gertrude Stein's house. Picasso met the painter Henri Matisse there. Picasso thought Matisse was the greatest painter around, and they became friends for life. In 1906, Pablo Picasso did a portrait of Gertrude Stein, but he just couldn't get the face right. She sat for him 80 times. Picasso gave up for the summer, but when he began again, he did her face from memory. People said it didn't look like her, but Gertrude loved it. I think Gertrude looks like a mountain. Picasso made her look very solid and strong. Cubism, dare to be square. The painter George Barak also liked breaking all the rules of art. He and Picasso both started painting with only a few colors and breaking up the pictures into cubes or geometric shapes. They were trying to paint things from all angles at once, from the front and from the sides. See the face? Right there. And then the hands. Braque and Picasso worked together for 5 years. They saw each other every day. They went on vacations together. Braque said he and Picasso were like roped together mountaineers. They were sort of like my twin brother and me. They thought alike. They invented Cubism. Stephen and I haven't invented much yet. I want you guys to look at this and see if you can see a musical instrument. Collage. Should recognize that word. Picasso and Braque had began sticking things like cloth or pieces of paper or even trash onto their paintings. They also used stencils and lettering. This new kind of art was called collage, which comes from a French word meaning to stick. Picasso went to Rome to design some sets and costumes for a ballet. He had never even seen a ballet before. He fell in love with one of the ballerinas, Olga, and he married her a year later. When Picasso painted this portrait of Olga, most Cubists thought he was a sellout because he was painting in an old-fashioned way. But he was just doing his own thing again. He wanted to paint Olga this way, and so he did. Picasso was quite a ladies' man. Turn the page and see. In his long life, Picasso had lots of girlfriends and wives and 4 children. In each picture, I put the year they met. So there was Fernande in 1905. Then in 1911, he met Ava. Then in 1917, he went to Rome and he met the ballerina Olga, and they got married and had a son named Paulo. Then he met Marie Theresa in 1927, and they had a daughter named Maya. He met Dora in 1936, Francois in 1944, and they had a son and a daughter named Claude and Paloma. And then finally, in 1953, he met Jacqueline, and he married her. And guess how old he was? He was 80 when he got married to Jacqueline. Picasso paints and paints and paints and paints. So look at these 2 paintings. Pablo painted both the painting on this page and the one on the next page in 1921, but look how different they are. The one below is crazy looking, like a puzzle with pieces in the wrong places. Can you tell what it is? There's 3 people. 1, 2, 3. And this guy is playing a clarinet. He's playing a guitar, and this guy's holding sheet music. So it's like a concert. It's called The 3 Musicians. But then this one looks a lot different. It's much more realistic. This painting looks like some of the statues Picasso saw when he was in Rome. By 1921, Picasso was the top artist of the day, the man. Even though he was rich and famous, he never stopped making all kinds of art. He was always ready to try new things. The thick legs of the women in this reminded Picasso of his happy days as a child when he would crawl under the table and look at everybody's ankles. Here's another dark period of Picasso's, just like the blue period was. This was when Picasso was living in a country that was, well, his home country, Spain, was in a war. And then also when he lived in Paris at the time, and a war started there too. In 1937, Picasso painted his angriest painting ever. It's a picture of a town in Spain called Guernica. It was bombed during the Spanish Civil War. It's scary if you look at it very long because innocent people are dying. It could really be about any war. In June of 1940, during World War II, the German Nazis took over Paris. Picasso wouldn't leave, even though he could have. The French people were very proud of that. I think he was quite brave. Food was scarce, and when he was hungry, he painted sausages and leeks. It was hard to get art supplies, but Picasso somehow kept working. Some scary stuff happening. Finally, there was peace. In 1944, the Nazis were run out of Paris, and it was a free city again. American soldiers said that Picasso and the Eiffel Tower were the sights that they most wanted to see, so Picasso gave tours of his studio. After living through so many wars, Picasso wanted to work for peace, and in 1949, Picasso made a poster of a dove for the Peace Congress. Today, the dove is a symbol for peace all over the world. Picasso's daughter was born in 1949, and he named her Paloma, which means dove in Spanish. After the war, Picasso moved to southern France with his new girlfriend. They bought an old perfume factory to use as a sculpture studio. They had a son, Claude, in 1947 and a daughter, Paloma, in 1949. Picasso was a happy family man. He played with his kids and painted pictures of them too. There was a pottery factory in the town where they lived, and Picasso began making and decorating plates, vases, and pots. He made 2,000 pieces in 1 year. Go Picasso. So he was a sculptor too. He liked to make sculptures out of old recycled materials. He was not just a painter and a potter. He made sculptures in bronze, and he liked to make them out of things he found around his place. This is a goat made out of milk jugs. More and more, Picasso made surprising and funny art. I really like these collage sculptures. He was much more playful than most great artists. I think Picasso had a good sense of humor. I'll bet his kids like the sculptures of a little girl jumping rope and a mother pushing a baby carriage. These are recycled cake pans. The Young Old Man. In 1954, Henri Matisse died, his friend that he met at Gertrude Stein's house. Picasso was 73, and he was afraid he was running out of time too. His wife and children had left him, so what did he do? Picasso worked even harder. He found a new girlfriend, and he got married again when he was 80 years old. Look at this guy. He's still swimming and having fun. By now, Picasso was a living legend. On his 85th birthday, museums in Paris had shows of Picasso's work. There were 1,000 pieces of art. It was hard to believe one person could have done it all. My favorite Picasso painting. Nice hat, but this guy needs a shave. Vanilla ice cream. Maybe he's blue because he's cold from eating all the ice cream. I have this poster in my room, so now there isn't a single room in our house without a Picasso in it, not even our bathroom. This is a Picasso painting with a lot of blue in it, but it doesn't look sad at all. It's my favorite. I think Picasso liked ice cream as much as I do. He painted it in some of his other pictures too. When I look at Picasso's work, I feel like I want to paint or make stuff myself. Picasso died on April 8, 1973 at age 91. The night before, he was still painting. He never stopped trying new things. He may have made over 50,000 works of art in his lifetime. Woo! Picasso rules. To draw, you must close your eyes and sing.